If you had enough money to build your dream house, what's a strange room feature you'd include? An indoor swimming pool in the underground floor with a synced screen on all 4 sides and normal plus underwater sound system. I love swimming. I love watching movies and series. Imagine watching Jaws in a pool. I'd definitely install an observatory on top of a spire. This is 100% what I'd do. My house would be located far away, in a dark sky region. Have all of the lights in the house be smart lights, so I can turn them all off with a single click. This is my plan. I'm going to custom build an enormous telescope for it. So you aspire to be a spear in a spire? I want a hobbit pantry. Earthy, timber stone decor that is climate controlled to be a perfect storage area for wheels of cheese, sausage links and beer. Oh good god yes. Just give me a human-sized hobbit house for frick's sake. I want a freshwater pond in a central location inside the house. As someone who works in real estate, trust me, you really don't want a constant body of water inside your dwelling. Outside sure. There's the humidity you don't want. There's the constant maintenance, and a host of other issues that could happen. Sounds like solid advice. However, I reckon if I had enough money to build my dream house then money wouldn't be an issue for me anymore and I'd have plenty to pay someone else to take care of it. How about the house is like a donut and the pond is open to the sky in the middle? Perhaps a retractable roof if you want. If you're in a cold climate it would be a skating rink half the year too. You had me at donut house. It's not that strange, but I think an irrationally large number of decisions in my life have been motivated by the desire to eventually have a study with high ceilings and floor-to-ceiling bookshelves so I can have one of those ladder things that sits against the shelf, and have it be justified. I would add an octopus tank, but I think they live like 2 years tops and having to bury a pet bee nearly seems depressing. One of those ladder things that sits against the shelf and have it be justified. Just said the same thing in my comment. I think I'd just get on it and wheel myself around. I'll need a secret room behind one of the bookcases that leads to a second library. That is where all my favorite first editions and fine bindings will be. There will also be a nice wingback chair and a side table with a bottle of something to sip on while I read. I may also need a guillotine for those who decide it is okay to bother me in my private library. A sensory deprivation room, with built-in float tank, steam shower, cool rain shower. Yee. This. The best naps I've ever had were in a float tank. Being able to do that at home would be amazing. I've done a few sensory dep floats, and loved it each time. First time I tried it was truly a day of experimentation. Earlier that day, I consumed an Oreo cookie milkshake with cricket flour added. Pretty tasty. I need more people with this kind of energy in my life. A moat. No one has a moat anymore. Do you not want to talk to people? Pull up the drawbridge. And in the winter you have your own personal skating rink. 100% would turn into a lazy river in the summer. This person gets it. Except standing water makes for excellent mosquito breeding grounds. I want a moat, but I also don't want to pay for it in blood. Thus the lazy river keeps the water moving. I really want one of those natural bathrooms that looks like you just walked into a jungle, everything is stone and steam and plants and sounds of a waterfall. Or one of those open staircases where the back wall is completely glass and there's a leafy garden under the stairs. Basically just a tropical oasis for plants. I once stayed at a hotel with river stone tiles on the shower floor and it was glorious. So I share your dream about those kinds of bathrooms. How do you clean that? You pay someone else to do it. I was gonna say, my dream house definitely includes someone to clean it for me lol. I used a pressure washer in my shower one time. It's just tile, and I used a low power washer with a low flow nozzle, but it worked really well. If I ever redecorate a bathroom I'll definitely do it in a way where you can just pressure wash the entire thing. Slides. Slides all over the house to get you from any room down to the living room or den. We got a VRBO once with a slide, which the kids loved until we noticed the connections between slide segments were ripping the seats of their pants. Worst meltdown ever. I don't know how it only happened to me, but I went to the water slides with a bunch of friends and one of the slides we went on fricked my back up. I wasn't bleeding thankfully, but the ridges of the slide cut into the back of my shoulders that were against the slide, so I had nice cut marks on my back that just didn't break the skin. Hurt quite a bit. My wife finally convinced me to ride the water slide at our local water park. She worked there the last summer and knew the maintenance guys. They worked hard and were proud of the safety record. So, she finally convinced my fat ass to ride the slide. Did you know that if you are fat, you go faster downhill? Who knew? Anyway, I hit the high speed turn at really high speed. This has me riding the top edge of the slide. You know, the part that curves over to keep you from flying out. To the point that when I came out of the turn and there was no longer a top edge, I was no longer on the slide. Thankfully I landed face down on the slide thanks to momentum carrying me over in an arch across the slide. But landing face first and breaking my nose was not fun. Got flipped over just before I hit the outlet pool, but I was moving so fast I skimmed over the surface and hit the end of the pool with my knees before I could stand up and stop myself. So I stood there, nose pouring blood, bruising already showing on my knees and shoulders from the hits. I later learned I also had an awesome red burn rash down my back from the plastic slide and stood staring at my wife, who was laughing her ass off while everyone else was worried. She yells out, "What? Never seen a man get beat up by a slide before." I love that woman. She brought me a funnel cake and a kiss to apologize. Life pro tip: if you are tall and fat, and shaped like a pear, don't ride water slides. I haven't been on a water slide since. An indoor swimming pool, with a lazy river. I love swimming, but I freaking hate public pools. I have a recurring dream where I have a house with a lazy river in it. I love those dreams. I'm a member of a YMCA with an indoor pool and lazy river. It's awesome. Is it fun to stay at the YMCA? Young man? Yes, I said young man. A trapdoor at the entrance that drops you into the ball pit. What's the password? I love ball pits. You may enter. Really? My password would be I love balls. I am but a simple man and would like a hidden room, revealed by a bookcase, that moves when you pull on a light fixture. Put the candle back. Alright, I think I've figured it out. Take out the candle, and I'll block the bookcase with my body. A bedroom. A room that is just a giant bed, second or third story of the house, surrounded by windows with a glass ceiling. Skylights. I used to want a glass ceiling, but then I realized it would be a itch to clean anytime there was pollen or bird poop. If you have infinite money, there's gotta be some way you could add some sort of cleaning system on the glass. Maybe just a big windshield wiper with some cleaning solution, lol. I'm thoroughly enjoying the image of a gigantic windshield wiper on my bedroom ceiling. Professional kitchen. Hoods, stainless steel everything. Floors on a 1° slant and one whole wall is a drain, the works. A friend of mine has something similar to this, except the whole room slants toward the island where the drain is located in the tile toe kick. He can soak his floor and mop everything into the drain, hit a button to have whatever was in there chewed up via some sort of mulcher. If you didn't know it was there, it just looks like a nice kitchen with some professional appliances. The floor drain has a disposal? That's a damn good idea. Until it breaks. Depending on how it's installed, it can be a hefty repair bill. Sometimes it's effectively a remodel. My father built our house with wall panels, passages and false ceilings, not the crappy kind found in offices. For exactly that reason. Most of the electrical and plumbing was accessible anywhere in the house without having to tear anything out. Of course, after he passed away, we had a pipe burst in the one damn place he didn't include an access panel, under the bathtub. Maybe it was him reminding you one more time to put an access panel everywhere. And that's why you always have an access panel. Semicolon man who just lost his arm. I always wanted a floor drain in a garage. Trench drain here, similar to a fire station. Water hookups out there so you can wash the car indoors in the winter. Thank you for bringing up washing the car, because my mind went straight to murder, lol. Sometimes you have to wash the blood off of the car. I don't need you to tell me how freaking good my coffee is. Okay, I know how good it is. I'm 6 feet 4, so a custom part of a kitchen counter that can be raised and lowered so I can cut things without feeling like I'm turning into the hunchback of Notre Dame. My husband is 6 feet 7 inches and I'm 5 feet 4 inches. Adjustable countertops would be fantastic. A cylindrical atrium at the center that goes from natural rock and water features at the bottom, with spiral staircases and steps around the outside that led to a glass-roomed sun deck with a hut that overlooks the entire thing. I've always wanted a courtyard-style house like an ancient China or the villa style of Rome. House feels more spacious, plus every hall has a view, access to your hidden paradise. Probably a goat room, for all my goats. I misread that as nat room and first thought if you moved to Florida that is all rooms, and then realized you said goat, and was relieved that it wasn't a nat room, but then wasn't sure what would have more bugs in it at the end of the day. Bit of a roller coaster, really, and I think goats are happier outside when it isn't raining. Maybe a goat yard with a nice milking parlor?